We have the Zainth. The Carthaginians are losing confidence, and their allies are ready to defect. There is nothing stopping us from acting.
We need supplies. I'm off to commandeer some from the backcountry.
I'll go show the Zainth to the coastal cities. Once they see it, they'll understand that the gods have abandoned Carthage. They will join our cause and provide us with the machines we need to take the city.
I'll stay here to guard the camp. If the Carthaginians attempt to leave the city, I'll push them back into their walls.
And Spendius, your mission will be to rupture the waterworks supplying Carthage. You'll find a way. After all, you were able to steal the Zainth. For your daring and your skill. No one is more qualified than you to complete this mission. None. The Carthaginians have a few reservoirs, but the present drought will force them to ration water, and they'll be suffering from thirst. That's great, Spendius. If all of us do our jobs, Carthage will be crushed. Tell me, Spendius, before you leave, answer me. Did you see Salammbo in Carthage? Did you speak to her? I'll sweep away all that separates me from her, including soldiers and ramparts.
At the end of the council, the chiefs each go their own way. Matho leaves for a mission on the coast, carrying with him the Zainth. Nar-Havas leads his cavalrymen into the backcountry. Authorite remains to guard the camp, along with the majority of the troops. Spendius, for his part, reflects on the possible ways of sabotaging the Carthage waterworks.
Greetings, Spendius the Hardy One. You did a good thing in stealing the Zainth from the Carthaginians. They will soon be at our mercy. You will not find Matho in his tent. He has gone off to the coastal cities to commandeer war equipment so we can lay siege to Carthage.
My chief, Nar-Havas, has gone to fetch supplies with most of his troops. I stayed behind with a few others to guard the tents. I can't quite see us, proud Numidian warriors, doing such slave work. It's unimaginable.
So, Spendius, the waterworks is still not destroyed. What are you waiting for to carry out your mission? Leave and have no fear. The camp will be well guarded.
Greetings, oh Spendius, skilled archer, killer of pigs, provider of food, stealer of Zainth, and scourge of the Carthaginians.
Ah, Spendius. I learned that you humiliated the Carthaginians by getting hold of their sacred cloth. That's excellent news. It is more solid than the Earth's very bones. Only supernatural forces can destroy it. More than ever. Don't try to scale the structure. The only known route is the one you've used. And unfortunately, after your first exploit, the Carthaginians won't let themselves be surprised again. I think it gathers water from the mountains, but I've never been in that area.
This road leads to the mountains and backcountry. It crosses dry solitudes infested with the dragons of the sands. Don't go that way. How'd you refuse the man who brought us the Zainth? I'll entrust you with a mount, Spendius. But take good care of it. Treat it well, and bring it back to me in good health.
Spendius' quest takes him all the way to the Hatchet Mountain Pass. In a temple long forgotten by man, he removes the eye from a statue of Moloch. Spendius discovers the underground canal supplying the Carthage waterworks. He throws the eye of Moloch into the current, setting off a devastating explosion. The waterworks, cut off from their source of water, are no longer supplying the fountains of Carthage. Spendius has completed his mission. All that's left for him to do is meet up with the mercenaries and announce his success.
Spendius, I didn't expect to find you here. Alas, this is a bad time. We've been beaten by the Carthaginians. I'll tell you everything that happened.
While Spendius was exploring the Hatchet Pass, Hannon left Carthage, leading a strong army. The war elephants and the renowned Sacred Legion jostled the mercenaries, led by Arthurite. The Gallic chief, drunk at the time of the attack, allowed himself to be caught unawares. He was forced to flee to the Solitude Mountains with his men. This is where Spendius finds the mercenaries, after having ruptured the waterworks and crossed over the mountain.
And so, through Arthurite's fault, we experienced a humiliating defeat. Hannon occupied our camp and pushed us back into the mountains. Near the water, filling his canteen. It took a lost battle for him to stop drinking wine. Unfortunately, our defeat renders your exploit useless. No, Spendius. We cannot fight against bad fortune. I fear neither men nor elephants. But there is on this mountain an idol that fixes us with its sinister eye. The fire of its gaze brings misfortune upon us. We'd have to be crazy to engage in battle under such ill omens.
May the red fury infect Carthage, rot Hannon from the inside out, and damned be the Etruscans and Balears who gave up ground to the enemy.
extraordinary. The Carthaginian idol has lost its eye. Could this be an omen? Might it be that the camp's fortune is shifting? The omens are favorable, but that's not enough. Before obeying, we want to be sure that you know how to lead an army. Answer my questions, and we'll judge if you're more worthy of commanding us than was Authorite. If you are fighting with your back to the sea, are you better off attacking at day's end or in the morning? Yes, that is the best thing to do. You will have more chance of favorable winds, for it generally blows from the sea at the end of the day. You surprise the enemy in his camp in the middle of the night. You can either entirely circle him or lead him a way out. Which would you choose to do? Good answer. It's dangerous to drive your enemy to the point of despair. If the enemy camped to the west and you've camped out to the east, do you attack in the morning or wait until the afternoon? Well done. This way, your enemy will be fighting with the sun in the eyes of its troops. If your cavalry is greater than that of the enemy, will you seek a battle on the plains or in rugged terrain? Good answer. The cavalry will have the advantage on the plains. Is a lunar eclipse a good or bad omen for an army that must flee? Right. A lunar eclipse favors a fleeing army, especially if the army is withdrawing at night, while sacrificing prior to the battle. 12 birds of prey fly off to your right. What do you do? That's right. A flock of birds off to your right is a good omen. You answered well, Spendius. We are ready to follow you into battle.
Spendius rallies the conquered mercenaries and marches on Hannon. At the same time, Narhavas and his cavalrymen return from having gotten supplies. The Numidians are prodding forward a group of pigs commandeered in the backcountry. Narhavas meets up with Spendius before the battle begins. These providential reinforcements give Spendius the cavalrymen he was lacking, and a group of pigs, somewhat unexpectedly, spread out on the battlefield. In front of the mercenaries' army, Hannon is lining up his troops. At the center of the men, he places his elephants and the glorious phalanx of the Sacred Legion. The mercenary troops are pushing the pigs towards the enemy lines. The elephants, wrought into a frenzy by the pigs, are turning against their own camp. As they blindly flee, they carve a bloody path through the Sacred Legion. Despite the losses sustained, the Legion holds steady, tightens up its ranks, and slaughters the pigs. In a perfect spot on a clear terrain, the Numidian cavalry makes every effort. But the enemy infantry valiantly resists. There are heavy losses on both sides, but it's the discouraged Numidians who finally cave in. The Balearic slingers give up under the Velites that rain down upon them. When everything seems lost, a resounding cry is heard. The Sacred Legion is retreating. Badly harmed by the elephants, the Legion gives up in front of the mercenary infantry that had reserved its forces for this decisive confrontation. The retreat of the Sacred Legion gives renewed courage to the Numidians, who attack once again. Emboldened by the Numidians' example, the Slingers take up the charge. The Velites are retreating. The Civic Infantry is retreating. The mercenaries are victorious. Spendius is victorious. He captures the enemy general, chases the remainder of his army from Carthage, and regains control of the mercenary camp. Shortly after the battle ends, Matho returns from his journey to the coastal cities. He brings with him engines of war that are immediately placed in position in front of the ramparts. Carthage will truly be under siege.